Good morning, Toasties. Big show ahead of us, but first a quick roll call off the top. Terry Siakis, one of the founders of the Save the Bilby Fund, says that Bilby fatigue is setting in. How would you promote chocolate Bilbies to increase their sales?
Well, that's easy, Charlie Pickering. I would get the North Melbourne Football Club to make a short film containing some sex scenes between a chocolate Bilby and a rubber chicken.
Oh, that is hot.
Charlie, how about you? How would you promote chocolate Bilbies?
I think the key is more education. I think 1 in 100 of the chocolate Bilbies should be a real Bilby.
Yeah.
And the child gets to raise it and feed it until it can care for itself and it gets released to the wild. I think that would be great. Get the kids involved is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Justin Hamilton, how would you boost the Bilby?
Oh, what I'd do is I'd attach them to gorillas and then I'd let them free into the city. And then when the gorilla's attacking a child, it sees the Bilby as a reward for surviving.
Coming up on the show this morning, we have an exclusive snippet of Kim Jong-il's radio show beamed live out of North Korea. Terry Siakis has a shock revelation that could change toast forever.
It's not mine.
Plus, your chance to win $100 cash and a Top Gear DVD pack and a Top Gear board game thanks to BBC Knowledge Channel 619 on Foxtel. It's an extreme Easter weekend this weekend.
Extreme!
Other than that, sit back, relax, munch on a chocolate egg and let us do all the work for the next 2 hours on Toast with Terry, Charlie and Justin on Triple M. Terry Siakis, what is fresh off the newswire this morning?
Look, I don't want to alarm anyone, but as of this week, there is a fair chance that we are headed to war with New Zealand. Yeah.
About time.
I think we can take him.
I don't know, they've got orcs.
Head to your underground bunkers. This is fairly serious. The New Zealand Prime Minister, John Key, reckons Australia has laid false claim to the iconic dessert known as Pavlova and that we should give it back to their rightful owners, New Zealand. They reckon that the Pavlova is theirs.
Are they asking us to do a pastry-based sorry?
Kind of. Yes. Well, this is the thing. It all centres on this dessert. Now, for those who don't know, according to our history, Pavlova was created by a chef in Perth for the visiting Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova, hence the name. According to New Zealand history, the dessert was created by a New Zealand chef. It wasn't necessarily immediately known as Pavlova, but they're saying that the recipe and the concept of the meringue dessert with the cream and fruit was come up with it was a New Zealand guy that was behind it.
That is like someone back in 1798, you remember it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And or was it 1897? Anyway, someone just going, oh yeah, I've been driving a car for ages. I built it weeks ago. It's been in my shed for years, right? It's just because Mercedes-Benz brought out a car and they called it a car. I was already doing it, man. I had cars, heaps of cars.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying we have stolen their idea. Do you think that's fair, Justin?
Oh, whatever. They can have it. You know what they can do. You know what? It's a cake. Like, just, why are we getting upset? This, you know what this says? This tells me that New Zealanders, even if they do have orcs and can kill us in a war, they're small-minded. There you go. I've said it. Because if they're getting upset about a cake, like, who cares?
Do you know, there's nothing more frustrating, though, to be fair, than someone stealing your idea.
Has this ever happened to you?
It has. First of all, can I say John Key, this New Zealand minister, I remember the last time I was in New Zealand, he got into trouble for urinating on the front of a hotel.
Hey,
Right.
I did that.
Yeah. And he
That was
ripped
your idea.
That was my idea.
He ripped it off you. He ripped it off Brendan Favola. Like he's ripped it. That is Aussie, man. He has stolen that.
That's
right?
my thing.
But it's really frustrating when someone steals your idea. I invented a belt. And I know belts already existed before, but I specifically invented a belt that was called the CP Trouser Solution.
Right.
Yeah.
And it consisted of a karate belt that I'd cut down to fit properly and a piece of Velcro, and it would actually go through a plastic loop and Velcro down, right? And I invented it.
So no buckles.
No buckles. That's the thing. There's no metal, so you can go through metal detectors at airports without taking your belt off.
Genius.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And then I had it in a show where I talked about inventing it. And then 6 months later, a company brought out the black belt, which was a karate-based belt that held your jeans up.
They stole your idea.
They stole my idea, Terry Siakis.
You should go and fight them, but be careful because they've got black belts, and I think yours were all different
Rub it
colours.
in, man. Rub it in.
I
Well,
reckon.
that'd be tough.
I reckon you are not alone. I reckon this has happened to people before. When has someone stolen your idea? It could be an idea for a product or something that you came up with that you told your friends about, and then 6 months later you're watching late night TV, those ads, and bang, what are they advertising? Your idea. Dave, when has this happened to you, mate?
I would have been about 8 or 9 year old, and I was right into the WWF at the time, the wrestling,
Fair enough.
and I loved Hulk Hogan and all that sort of jazz.
Yep.
Anyhow, I decided to come up with this idea. It was like the world title belt that you could actually put your figurines into.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was great, and I told my parents about it, and I drew it all up, and they thought it was a fantastic idea. And being the hippies they were, they said, "Oh, why don't you just send it back to Mattel, or the company that makes the figurines?
No.
See what they have to say about it." And I reckon within a year they'd made it and had it on the market.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you know what they said? They said that's a great idea. Thanks for it, and didn't give you any money for it.
So this belt, you would like clip your figurines into the belt like a bullet belt with figurines in it. Is that?
Yeah, that's right. Like, it had like plastic sort of tags on the sides that you can slip in Hulk Hogan and the King Kong Bundys and all that sort of junk.
I think I had one of these. I feel dreadful. I'm going to send it back to Mattel now, I tell you. Curious about that. How did it make you feel, Dave, as a kid?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking at the time, geez, imagine how many figurines I could have bought with the money if
Yeah.
they had to pay it out.
Definitely. Well, from now on, Dave, in tribute to you, whenever we see a kid with one of those belts, we will say, you know who came up with that idea? Dave. Dave came up with that idea. Thanks for your call, mate. Darren, when has someone stolen your idea?
Oh, hi guys, how are you?
Very well.
A few years ago now, I design and write as it is, but I read the Sunday Herald Sun, and there's not enough male literature in there. All the body and souls for the women, the glossy mags for the women.
Yeah.
And I write in complaining about it, saying that if they wanted, you could do a male-orientated section as well.
Yep.
And you'd be able to sort of like draw in a bit more of that side of readers.
Yeah, male readership.
They could call it the shed. Everyone come and hang out in the shed with the blokes.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. And, I could quite easily give them some ideas if they really needed it, because it was obviously being run by women.
Yeah.
And
right, good one, Darren.
about 6 months later, they brought out the Alpha Mag. And it was a handwritten letter, because I do everything in handwritten. I don't know how to use computers and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a copy of it, so I didn't actually have any. But within 6 months, the Alpha Mag came out.
Brought out by the newspaper. It was an affiliation of the newspaper. They ripped you off, Daz.
They did.
That is rubbish. That makes me angry. I would fight them, but people behind Alpha sound like they'd be pretty big.
Do you reckon? I always imagine that the people behind Alpha, because it presents itself as such a blokey kind of, check out the pair on me. I just always imagine that they're small men with glasses, just sitting at computers, just tapping away quietly, sipping tea.
Yeah, be careful. You're actually sitting alongside a small man with glasses who sips tea.
Guys, okay, guys, editorial meeting. I want more pictures of Beckham. Can we get some pictures of Beckham? It's all about Becks this month. Beckham, come on, everyone. Beckham.
This is Toast on Triple M.
Terry Siakis, I believe you have a little bit of news.
Well, yeah, I shared some news with you guys during the week. It's time to share the news with the rest of our Toast family listening at home. The news is that I am completely up the duff. Pregnant for shiz up the spout.
Where'd those people come from?
I'm not sure. They weren't there at the time, I can tell you.
Lord.
I am officially a people smuggler. I am incubating a human being, and it's a girl. We found out that it's a girl. I am 4 months along, and I have well and truly popped out. This is the thing. I can't actually hide this anymore. I cannot keep it under wraps because I've popped out. And it's funny how the phrase popped out, it sounds quite quaint and neat, but what it actually means is that I look like I have been spending way too long at the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah.
And
your tummy's spreading like the thread of terrorism.
Do you have to have you had to start have you had to start wearing alternative clothing?
I'm almost at that point. I've bought something called a belly belt, and it's an extender so that you can wear your careful. You can wear your normal pants, but you just where they don't do up anymore. You can slot this little thing in, and it gives you another couple of.
I've got a similar scenario at Christmas lunch.
Yeah,
where I do.
Good for that.
I just get a length of rope.
But that's the thing. I'm not fat. There is actually someone in there, and I've been
not just someone. Well, it sounds like a squatter.
No.
Crawled in the middle of the night.
No, this was a.
There's someone checking the meter. What?
There's someone in there. But I've been making the announcement. The bloke and I have been making the announcement to friends and family this week, and it's lovely to be able to share that sort of news because generally, it's the sort of news that makes people very happy, except for you, Charlie, because when I told you, it made you cry, and it made you cry in a very strange place.
Yes.
In the bum.
I cried. I had a weep. I had a great big man weep in Bunnings.
Oh.
When you rang me, I was in the doorbell aisle of Bunnings looking for a doorbell. And so I was in the right place.
Yeah.
And I had a big cry. I was just.
What
I
were
was
you
just so
crying
happy.
for?
Well, I'm not the father. It's
Yeah.
always good news.
That's
It's
exciting.
always good news to hear when there's a child that you're not the father.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years.
But you know, I'm not the first man to cry in Bunnings.
No.
Often it's just, I can't believe the paint selection. So many colours.
But look, generally all the responses were pretty much the same. You know, congratulations, well done. And look, I have to say, well done is a weird one because it makes me think, well, I didn't really do much. I basically just lay back and thought of the baby bonus. So I don't know that well done.
Don't talk yourself down.
But all the responses to the news were pretty routine, except for one, which I want to tell you about. One response that was a little bit different. When I told my friend Ellie that the bloke and I were expecting a baby, her first question was, and I still cannot believe this, quote, "So when you get your bits waxed before the birth, will you go for an all-off wax or will you leave a landing strip?" That was the question.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Obviously a landing strip, surely.
Well, my response was, mate, from what I understand about childbirth, by the time it's over, I'll be happy to still have the airport. If you're picking up where I put it. Forget the map of Tassie. If the island itself is still intact, that is good enough for me.
You know what I'd get? I'd get it shaved into the shape of curtains. Ta-da! Welcome to the stage.
This is Toast on Triple M.
Charlie Pickering, you had a little bit of a run-in last night with the fine, upstanding members of our police force. Is that right?
The Thin Blue Line and I rubbed up against each other last night.
That sounds
Ouch.
I was driving home late last night, and I just have to say this right now. I wasn't drinking. I hadn't been drinking at all.
Being
Changed.
responsible, as you should.
Yeah, well, I'm driving, so of course I'm not going to drink.
Yeah.
And so I'm driving home, but obviously Easter weekend, there's lots of breathalyzers out. They're really clamping down on it. It's really important to them. And so I'm driving along, and I get waved into the booze bust zone to get breathalyzed. I'm going, that's fine. I'm totally cool.
Yep.
But I always like to turn the radio down because I've normally got the music blaring pretty loud.
Yep.
And I think that's not a good look. I'm going to give them respect. I want to be able to hear the cops when they talk to me.
You don't want the cops to pull you over and you got NWA playing, you know, because it sends a bad message straight
It
away.
really does.
Yeah.
And
Google that one, kids.
and so anyway, as I reached over to turn down my radio, I bumped my hazard lights on my car.
Right.
And so as I pulled in, my hazard lights are flashing. I didn't realise at the time. And it looked like me just going, bam, 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 idiot coming in. It just looked like I'd forgotten how to operate a car.
And drawing attention to yourself.
Drawing heaps of attention to myself. And so I pulled up, and the guy's just given me that look of going, oh, well, here's one. And and they gave me the breathalyzer thing and one long continuous breath, and I did it, and you know I concentrated really hard, so I did a good breath and I breathed, and it blew 0. But the guy didn't believe it because I drew it and come in with the hazard lights on. He goes, "All right, we might just have to wait a minute or two to do another reading here, just to see if it hasn't come through yet." And I'm going, I haven't had any drinks. And he said, "No, well, look, we just have to be really..." And called another guy over and said, "It's not getting a reading, but I'm pretty sure." Like that. And they had a little chat to each other and made me blow again. And then I was, I was clear again, and then they let me go. But this is the really embarrassing bit. As I pulled out to drive away, I took out like 5 of the witches' hats.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
And I was trying to be really responsible because clearly they were looking at me like there was something wrong. And I drove away really slowly, going, thudunk, 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 knocking over these witches' hats.
Nice.
You know, but in your defence, you're just blown twice. You know, it's like, I'm so tired after that.
Look, I reckon there's some people out there who can make you feel better about the fact, or at least not alone about the fact that you have embarrassed yourself. Bernie, when have you embarrassed yourself in front of the police?
I just wanted to relate to, how you going, guys? I love your show, eh?
Oh,
yeah,
thanks
cheers.
very much, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, listen to it every Thursday morning. I just wanted to relate to the other fella saying how he ran out of fuel going through a booze bus one day, which was a little bit embarrassing.
And how did that go down, Bernie?
Not too well. When I jumped out, I had to get out and get some... Luckily, there was a petrol station just down the road, and I was going to go and get some more fuel, and they all thought I was trying to do a runner on them. So I came from everywhere trying to grab me, and once they realised I was sober, they were pretty good about it. But, yeah, that happened to me.
You know what the good thing is if you're going to run out of petrol, there's heaps of people around to help you push the car.
I guess so, mate. Yeah. No, it worked out all right, but it was a little slightly embarrassing.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks for the call, Bernie. Paul, when have you embarrassed yourself in front of the police?
Yeah, guys, same thing. I was at a breathalyzer and I was on the way home from work and they breathalyzed me and I actually blew just over. And when he told me, I'm sitting there saying, mate, I haven't had a drink. I've had nothing, no alcohol since last night. You know, there's no way. This is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So they made me sit there for about 4 or 5 minutes before they retest me. And when he retested me, it dropped right down. And he was looking at me with a confused look, and I looked at him and I said, "Mate, I think it might be my mum's rum balls." And he looked at me and he said, "No way." So I gave him one. He ate one, breathalyzed himself, and he was over the limit.
Wow. Your mum's rum balls sound quite tasty, and I've never said that to another man before.
Nice one. Thanks,
Thank
Paul.
you very much
That is
for the
quite
call.
possibly a euphemism of the year. My mum's rumballs. Johnson, if that really is your name, when have you embarrassed yourself in front of the police? Hello? Oh, he's
Hello.
gone.
Oh,
Johnson, when have you embarrassed yourself in front of the police, mate?
Well, a while back there was a robbery behind us, and I've come out the front door to say hello to the cops and show them what kind of visual we've got on the back of the house.
Mm.
And silly me, I've left my keys in the house and the door's blown shut.
Oh, no. So you've gone out to help and locked yourself out.
Yeah, I've locked myself out. So what I had to do, it's played a bit cool at the time, and I thought to myself, oh, hang on, how am I going to get in? And what happened? They were on their way out, and they said, oh, can you go inside and get the contact details of the cops you spoke to last night? And I said, well, me getting stuck, I thought, geez, I'm kind of stuck with that. Hang on, I've got to actually lock my keys in the house. I've got to get into my house. So they've been waiting there while I've been breaking into the back of the house so I can get in and get them the details.
You know what? It's a shame you were talking to the cops, because if you talked to the burglar, you would have been able to get right back in, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I
Nice
reckon
one.
so.
A break and enter in the police, in the presence of the police. I like that, Johnson.
Thank you very much for the call. This is Toast on Triple M.
I hate that when that happens, yeah. I hate that, You know, I hate it.
Telling us what you hate. Justin Hamilton, I believe you're a little peeved about something.
Oh, I am actually furious, right? I hate it when you're at a club and you're buying rounds of drinks and you're all getting beers, and then one of your mates decides not only will he have a spirit, but he'll have a shot of tequila as well, when it's my buy. Now, you can't up the ante like that. It makes me furious.
I hate that when that happens, yeah.
Fair enough, Justin Hamilton. Terry Siakis, what do you hate?
You know what I hate? I hate not being able to drink alcohol while I'm pregnant. Have you ever tasted non-alcoholic wine? I would say that it was cat's piss, but that would be an insult to cat's piss. In fact, I have been adding cat's piss just to make the stuff drinkable.
I hate that when that happens, yeah.
So why'd you up the ante at my rounds then?
Get fired up, Toasties. Tell us what you hate. We'll put it in the Rodney Rude generator and you'll feel a lot better about everything. This is Toast on Triple M.
I hate that when that happens, yeah. I hate that.
Sounds like we've upgraded.
Yes, good. We've recently, our carbon footprint is even bigger now with the Rodney Rude generator. Telling us what you hate on 133353. Terry Siakis, who's going to kick off?
Sean is kicking it off for us. Sean, tell us what you hate.
I hate when you drive around the road like I'm a truck driver. You let
Yep.
people in, they don't say thank you.
I hate that when that happens, yeah.
Just a little wave of the finger.
How about a courtesy wave? For God's sake,
Yeah.
just one little courtesy wave. We're living in a society. I'm totally on your side there, Sean. Bravo. I
We
hate that.
are with you. Beck, tell us what you hate.
I hate it when you get a cold just before really big events or just when you don't need it.
Yeah.
I hate that when that happens, yeah.
There is nothing like being chock full of mucus before a very important occasion.
And on top of that, do you know what I hate? I hate how all the solutions for having a bit of a cold are not things. Like everyone says, have ginger and garlic.
Yeah.
No one's going to kiss me. No one's going to kiss me until I'm better. That's awful. I hate that.
I hate that when that happens, yeah.
It feels better getting that off the chest, I reckon.
Yeah, without a doubt. Poor Charlie. And you've got a cold at the moment.
Yeah, I've come down with one this morning.
Okay.
I normally have the voice of a 12-year-old girl.
You do.
This is so really disappointing for everyone right now. This is Toast on Triple M. If you're thinking to yourself, you know, I love toast.
Yeah.
I love listening to this show. If there were only some way I could physically hold it in my hands.
Ouch.
Well, maybe this is the solution.
In this week's Toast magazine, we bring you all the colour of the Rudd government's stimulus package rollout, including the flow-on effect for nightclub pickup lines. Is that $900 in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? There's a rare interview with the rubber chicken at the centre of the AFL Chook sex video scandal. Who is he? And is it true he also appeared as an extra in the Paris Hilton sex tape? Terry Siakis takes us inside her womb and explains why it now contains a neon no vacancy sign. Charlie Pickering comes clean about his role in the global financial crisis. How did he set up that Ponzi scheme? And does he even have a degree from the Ponzi Institute? And Justin Hamilton encourages anyone with a sawn-off shotgun to go straight to their local bank and get their official interest rate cut over the counter. There's a 9-page fashion lift-out packed with great ideas to jazz up your jacksie. And our bumper do-it-yourself craft special, where we show you how to knit your own thermals using a pair of size 3 knitting needles and a live sheep. That's all in this week's Toast magazine.
Do you like your news with plenty of ill-informed opinion? Saturday paper too heavy for you? Never learn to read? The Toast team gives you the news you need without all the annoying facts. In The Last Word.
Wrapping up the news of the week, sport is on the way as well as Wonderful World of Weird Asses with Terry Siakis. But one of the big stories affecting everyone in the world this week was that North Korea, courtesy of that awesome guy Kim Jong-il, world's wackiest dictator, right? Yeah. If they did a 20-1 countdown of world's wackiest dictators, he's got to come in at number 1. He's a cool guy. Yeah. He's a cool cat.
And you know what? When you were watching that episode of 20 to 1, there would still be a host of people commenting on those wacky dictators that you'd be going, where did they find him? Yeah. Where did they drag him out from and ask him about what he thought of...
Like, seriously, leave Grant Dodwell alone. Like, you know?
So what happened this week is North Korea, they launched an intercontinental missile.
Yeah,
I love the name for that because it always makes me think they launched an intercontinental breakfast and I get excited. Then they put missile on the end. I go, oh, that's a bit disappointing.
See, I always think they launched an incontinent missile. Oh, no, I can't be out too long. Got to get back.
No, messy.
But what they did, they launched this missile and it was missile testing. And
that's not allowed, is it?
Well, no, it's not. Basically, the rest of the world said, now that is a missile that could clearly hold a nuclear warhead. Yeah. We've got some rules. Due to the wacky nature of the guy running your country, you're not allowed to have nuclear weapons. Yeah. But Kim Jong-il, to his credit, he came out and said, hey, guys, take a chill pill. We weren't launching... This has nothing to do with nuclear weapons. We were just trying to... This is what he said. We were just trying to launch a satellite that could broadcast North Korean propaganda radio all around the world.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so it's just a radio satellite, you know. And hey, we're on radio. Who are us to tell Kim Jong-il he can't do a bit of radio?
Right.
Best thing is, I've downloaded the podcast of Kim Jong-il's radio show.
You're joking?
Yeah, you can. They broadcast it off the satellite, but if you missed the original broadcast, you can always download it. I can't remember. It's kimjongil.org. Look it up. It'll be awesome.
.tv, I think it is.
You're right. My bad. But anyway, this is Kim Jong-il's. This is fresh. This is so fresh. It's up to date. It's current. This is Kim Jong-il's radio show. Hope you enjoy it. This is Toast on Triple M.
Good morning, Pyongyang. This is your number 1 DJ, Crazy Kim, on 99.9 Kim FM. Or Kim all the time. Okay, time to play Secret Sound. On the line now, we have Jane from Hanghang Province. Jane, how are you?
I'm a bit hungry.
Shut up. You have it plenty good. Now, have a listen to the Secret Sound and tell me what it is.
Is it a political prisoner being tortured?
You shut up. Or else tomorrow I come over and we play Beat the Bomb at your house. Okay, time to take another call. Jeff from Kaesong. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Kim. I'm a big fan of your show. First-time caller, long-time listener.
Oh, that's nice, Jeff. You're a real nice guy.
Anyway, I just wanted to ask you, what's up with the West?
Yeah, the West is stupid. That's what's up. Good call, Jeff. Now, what's the phrase that pays?
Kim Jong-il is totally awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Kim Jong-il is totally awesome. Thanks for the call, Jeff. Coming up later on the show, we'll be doing some angry talkback radio. Today's question is, old people, gays, Asian drivers, or old gay Asian drivers? Who do you hate the most? Give us a call on our open line.
1-333-13.
Right now, though, here's a new song. Only just come out in Pyongyang. It's by a group called the Rolling Stones. This is rock and roll music, and I hear it's going to be pretty big someday. This is 99.9 Kim FM, all Kim, all the time. And you are very lucky to be listening. It is a gift I give to you. You better like it.
Toast, your weekend brekkie show.
With Terry, Charlie and Justin.
On Triple M.
Take a fairly big serve of sport, add some truth, a touch of exaggeration, and boil on high for exactly 2.5 minutes. And then you'll be ready for Toasty Sport with Justin Hamilton.
Extreme.
You feeling pretty sporty?
I am.
You're looking pretty sporty.
Thank you.
Now, first up, is there any fallout? Big game between Collingwood and Geelong the other night. There was some good football played, it has to be said.
Yeah, footy was the winner that night, and Geelong.
Now, has there been any fallout from Collingwood's loss?
Oh, yeah, Heath Shaw is in charges for manhandling an ump. And, you got to just learn from that. Like, you can't... You know what? It's gotten to the point now where you can't even just go up to an ump and give him, like, a nice cup on the bum for doing a good job. Do you know what I mean?
That's what does the game come to?
Yeah.
When you can't spoon an ump.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
can't give him a little tickle under the jaw, going nice work, umpy. You can't, just can't do it.
I didn't watch this match. What were the circumstances? Was the ump looking particularly fetching? And sure, he thought, I can't let that go.
Yeah,
I've got to give that a little bit of a honk.
Yeah, just a bit. And that ump needs to take more care of himself, and then he won't be honked so much.
It was a very minor incident, and he was remonstrating a little bit, and he just touched the rep. It was
Yeah, but I do understand that this goes down to the lower levels with the kids, etc., like that, and either that or just give umps nunchucks. Like, imagine that. Like, someone's remonstrating, he pulls out a nunchuck, ka-cha, bam, Heath Shaw.
See,
not banned, but got a black eye.
You say it goes down to the lower levels, and everyone's saying we have to lead by example at the top so that we can still recruit umpires for the lower levels. But stuff like what happened, it wasn't a violent incident. It wasn't like he went over and pushed the umpire and yelled at him or anything like that. I'll say it right now. You're listening to this, Demetriou? Yeah, this is going to you, right?
Yeah.
I think umpires, if there's a bit of inadvertent contact, it's no big deal. If it's deliberate contact and you push an umpire, that's completely different. But other than that, get the umpires off the field and just have a big disembodied voice that yells out free kick. Otherwise get them out of the way. Because it's a rough and tumble game, and it should be.
Yeah, that's why I said nunchucks.
Now, the US Open, what's the latest... US Masters?
Yes, the US Masters. Chad Campbell from the US is 7 strokes under. He's leading. Tiger Woods was going quite well. Last ball, he went, maybe I'll just be human for a while. Bogeyed it. He's now 2 under, but he's 2 under with Greg Norman. Greg Norman is also 2 under. Like, Norman's going quite well. Like, he has taken up with Chris Evert, and he has been rejuvenated.
She's been caddying for him, hasn't she?
She has been caddying for him.
They call it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's and I thought it would have been a lot more athletic. But I reckon that says to me that Greg Norman's as good as Tiger Woods. So I'm saying he's going to win it. There you go.
Or at least, how much would you love to see, like an 18-hole playoff, Tiger and Norman?
Yeah.
And watching Norman choke on the last hole.
Oh, my God. Just seeing those blonde lashes get upset again.
And very quickly, apparently all is not well in the Australian cricket team, Justin.
Nah, Ricky Ponting, he's furious. He said these batsmen have let the side down again. They're 2-1 down in the never-ending series against South Africa. And look, there's one way to fix this. It's really simple. All you do is you open the batting with Mitchell Johnson, you let Brad Haddon have a bowl, and you let Nathan Bracken do the glove work. Like, you just need to shake the team up.
Yeah, that's right. People are getting complacent playing the positions they're trained to play.
It would shock the South Africans.
It really would.
Imagine looking down and there's Brad Haddon coming in for a trundle.
Yeah, they'd be stunned. They'd be just going, we have never won by this much ever before in a match.
Exactly. Put them into a sense of complacency.
This is Toast on Triple M.
The world is a wonderful place.
It's also full of weird asses.
This is the wonderful world of weird asses with Terry Siakis.
Weird ass news from Los Angeles this week, where a man has revealed his ability to remember almost everything he's ever done or that has ever happened to him since the age of 5. This is dead set true dinks. 58-year-old Bob Petrella has been diagnosed with a condition known as hyperthemestia, which means overdeveloped memory, and it is so rare that he is one of only 4 known sufferers in the world. So much for that support network.
Wow.
If it's you and 3 other people scattered throughout the world, how are you ever going to possibly have group therapy sessions to deal with your overactive memory?
Maybe you Skype.
Yeah.
You Skype each other. Yeah, how bad's this? Yeah, I know.
I remember that. I don't know if you know this, but I'm one of the 4.
Are you really?
Yeah, that's why I drink all the time, because I just do whatever I can to forget.
To block it out.
Yeah.
Forget some things.
Just something.
Well, this is how detailed poor Bob's memory is. He can remember in absolute intricate detail the day that he met every single one of his friends. He can remember all of their phone numbers, all of their personal details. He can remember all the conversations that he has had throughout the last 53 years. What an annoying guy to have around, I reckon. Because when you're with a mate and you're telling a story and you always exaggerate it a little bit, Bob would be standing there going, that's not what happened.
No.
You didn't say that.
Here come the facts. Oh, turns out the story mildly tedious now.
Oh, thanks, human Wikipedia.
Would you want a memory that good? I would find it annoying. What do you guys reckon?
No, there are so many things that I've gotten up to that I would be in so much trouble. Like, you know what? I would have to have admitted to all those children in court. Like, I'd be in so much trouble.
Instead of saying, no, I don't remember you, madam.
Yeah.
You say, yes, I do remember you.
Yeah, and yes, that little guy is mine.
See, the thing about this is it's a double-edged sword. Yes, you could clearly remember all the wonderful memories, the great moments of your life, right?
Sure.
Which hopefully you can still remember them anyway without this thing. But you could remember all the dreadful things, all the things you can't take away.
Yeah.
Like Kim Fletcher's birthday party at the bowling alley where my hand got stuck in the bowling ball and I went to bowl and it stuck and I just fell over and smacked the bowling ball on the ground and had to run into the toilets crying because I'd embarrassed myself.
Oh my God.
See that?
Yeah.
Like, I want to forget that and I can't. All right? Can you imagine every single one of those bad little... The first time you got an unwanted stiffy in class and everyone saw it when you got asked to answer, you write something up on the board going, no, miss, I don't want to go up there. You would remember every single one of those bad memories.
And the other part to it is, when you have some good memories, but maybe if you could remember it correctly, maybe it wasn't that great a night. Like Thursday night, I went out with a whole bunch of people, had a big night, tied one on. I was pretty certain I was the most fun person in the universe, right? I was churning through cash, buying drinks, etc. Imagine if I could actually remember it properly, and maybe I was just loud, and maybe I was just buying drinks for people I'd never met, and maybe it wasn't that good. You
would remember that.
You wouldn't want to remember that, would you?
Yeah.
You want to remember it the way you do.
So you're basically saying your greatest fear with this disease is that you would remember that you weren't necessarily quite as nice a person as you think you are.
No, not nice, not as fun as I thought I was, because I pride myself on being a lot of fun.
But you know how else you could have the correct memory of that night? Don't spend $350 at the bar.
Well, someone's got to do it. I've got to churn through cash somehow. I'm helping the economy.
Justin Hamilton's tequila-led stimulus package.
Look, on the upside, this guy would be he'd be very good to have as a friend because he'd never forget your birthday. Mind you, he'd never forget to tell everyone exactly how old you are either.
This is Toast on Triple M.
Extreme.
You've got to let bogans be bogans.
Dave the Truckie is our carryover bogan, but he has some stiff competition this morning. Going up against him, we have Michael. Good morning, Michael. How are you, mate?
Yeah, pretty good, mate.
That's good. And what makes you a quality bogan?
I've got the whole flano, mullet, stubbies going on, mate.
Nice.
The whole thing all at once.
Yep.
And do you like a bit of Akadaki? You like a bit of Metallica?
Yeah, Akadaki and Metallica. Anything to do with metal.
Anything? It sounds like someone's like welding in the background as well.
No, I'm at work at the moment.
All right.
What do you do with yourself, Michael?
I'm a butcher.
Yeah, nice. Well, we've got a truckie up against a butcher.
Because I was honestly going to say that sounds like meat's copping a pounding, and I thought it turns out I was right.
Okay, now Michael, we just need to give you a bogan buzzer. You're going to be Mick. Can you let us hear it, Mick?
Mick.
Great. And Dave, you're still there. Give us a Dave-o.
Dave-o.
There we go. The buzzers are ready to go. Are we ready to play Let Bogans Be Bogans?
Bring it on.
Yep, here we go.
Okay, Justin Hamilton keeping score. Question number 1, Bogans. Complete this song title by Meatloaf. Heaven can what? Heaven can...
Dave-o.
Dave-o?
I don't know, heaven can wait.
That's the spirit, Dave-o.
Yes.
Dave-o won.
I guess that is brilliant. Question number 2, Bogans. Fire up. When you're making a bogan stir fry, how long do the 2-minute noodles take to cook?
Dave-o.
Dave-o.
About 48 seconds.
Quite possibly a trick question that was missed there by you, Davo.
Mick, what do you think the answer is?
2 minutes.
Well done,
You're
Mick.
quicker than that, Mick.
Hang on, Mr. 48 seconds, wrong answer.
Question number... microwave.
Question number 3. All right, fair enough. Before he was famous, what famous Australian landmark did Paul Hogan work on? He worked as a rigger on a famous Australian landmark. Located in New South Wales. Take a guess.
On the harbour.
Davo.
Davo.
I've known Sydney Harbour Bridge.
There we go. Davo 2, Mick 1.
Quite possibly very specific Bogan knowledge. Question number 4. The wristwatch, the sailboat and the hamburger are all tricks performed during what show? It's a live show. It's a funny live show that you might pop along to a theatre to see, performed by 2 blokes. I can't possibly give you any more clues.
A lot of people don't get that into puppetry, but would still enjoy this show.
That was Mick.
Puppetry of the penis.
There we go.
There we go.
It's all tied up going into the last question.
This is exciting. Come on, Bogans. 2-2. High performance Bogans today.
Bogan Culture has got these Bogans stuffed today. Question number 5. What was the surname of the Kylie character who regularly appeared on The Comedy Company?
Davo.
Davo comes from behind. Answer?
Kylie Mole, wasn't it?
Kylie Mole is correct.
That's it. Davo 3, Mick 2.
We have a winner.
Wow.
Bad luck, Mick. Thank you very much for playing. Davo, well done. You win a CD prize pack, which involves a fair bit of Metallica in there.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
And
Got my hair back.
I tell you what, the way those questions went, I think you're still lucky to be in the game, Davo. But you are our carryover Bogan. We're going to check back in with you next week. Congratulations. If you missed out today, don't worry. You get another chance to play Let Bogans Be Bogans next Saturday morning. This is Toast on Triple M. We have a very exciting thing. We are launching a brand new drama. Here at Toast, we've done fairly light-hearted comedic sketch before. We wanted to sink our teeth into something a bit more gritty, and as we've said, this is for men who possibly want to feel something.
Yep.
You know, and
or for women who like sensitive new age men.
Yep. Well, or for women who like sensitive new age men, but deep down like them to have a bit of muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because this has everything. This has all of those things rolled into one.
What about women who just like hanging out with gay men? I reckon this has got it all.
This is the first ever episode of Lonely Mountain. Hope you enjoy it. We'll be back tomorrow on Toast on Triple M.
2 cowboys surviving on the land as best they can, with only a flock of sheep and an unforgiving alpine peak to keep them company. This is Lonely Mountain.
It sure is peaceful out here on Lonely Mountain.
Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody else around for miles.
Oh, yeah, we sure are all alone.
Well, we ain't altogether totally alone.
You're right, Charlie. I guess we do have the sheep with us.
That ain't specifically what I was thinking of.
Uh-huh.
Jesse, did you ever want something so bad that you didn't even know what the words were to say that you wanted it?
Oh, I sure do. This stew's taking ages and I'm starving.
I love you, little fuzzy man.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Never mind.
Yep, it sure is peaceful out here on Lonely Mountain. Now here's your stew, and be careful, the plate's hot.
You make a real nice stew, little fuzzy man. Real nice stew.
Toast with Terry, Charlie, and Justin on Triple M.